Life can be hard, and we've all faced those moments that seem to stop us dead in our tracks. But what if those moments of difficulty, the bad news, could actually be a springboard for something greater? I'm Cam Garven, and each week I'll bring you stories of extraordinary resilience and conversations about lives and ideas that are productive. This is the Productive Lives Podcast. Welcome to a new three-part series. Today, Brad Robinson shares his journey navigating a corporate career at Coca-Cola and a life of constant relocation. We'll discuss handling tough assignments like a New Jersey Teamster plant and how he and his wife use radical hospitality to keep their family and community tightly knit. Let's dive in. Brad, thank you so much for coming on the Productive Lives Podcast. I really appreciate it.
Sure, my pleasure.
We've known each other. I was trying to remember the time. I'm not good with, was it the 2000s? You guys moved to the Philadelphia area. I was a youth pastor. You came to our church. Really appreciate you, Connie, Eric, and Mark coming in. I think you remember you saying this going, we're here for 2 years and we're just going to jump in. And I'm like, how does this guy know he's here for 2 years? Then I thought he's in the military. He said, no, I work for Coca-Cola.
Yeah. The agreement was because I took over a New Jersey Teamster plant.
Yes.
So the agreement was 2 years and they would bring me back. It was a handshake agreement, nothing documented, but they honored it.
No, that was cool. So tell us, before we get all into the Coke and stuff, where have you come from? Where were you born? Tell us a little bit about that and your family and maybe a little background. Yeah.
Sure. I was born or raised in La Puente, California. La Puente means the bridge. It was the bridge from the San Diego, Texas area into LA. That's why La Puente. Raised in I'm going to call it a non-Christian home. Yeah. My sister and I were dropped off at West Covina Baptist during Sunday school, so my parents could go out and have breakfast. So though, it was fantastic. You know, I at an early age accepted Christ, then went into that high school, early college, drifted away. But then right before actually meeting Connie, I rededicated my life. So from that point on, it's always been a faith-based life. Connie and I were married in 1981, started working for Coca-Cola in 1985.
Wow.
So we just this year celebrated our 45th wedding anniversary in January.
Wonderful. Fantastic.
Yeah. So
congratulations. Most people don't live 45 days or married 45 days. So that's good.
Right. So, and then in 92, Coca-Cola started moving us and we went to Orlando 2 years, Atlanta 2 years, Houston 6 months, New Jersey 2 years, back to Houston, and back to Atlanta, where I retired in 2014 on April Fool's Day.
They said April Fool's. You said, nope, I'm not coming back.
I'm not coming back, no. And then we moved from Atlanta, as you know, to Carlsbad, California, where we retired at the beach we were there 12 years.
12 years. Why not stay at Atlanta, or that wasn't?
Yeah, Atlanta it was Coke corporate, and that was fine. Yeah. But you know that we wanted to experience the beach and surfing, so that's why we tried the beach.
Oh yeah. You're my son Ryan's hero that you're still surfing, right? I don't know what you do in Colorado, but
well, 10 miles away from us is actually 10 minutes, I think, is a Lake Nighthorse.
Yeah.
And so we have our paddle boards the water is 62 right now, but we're ready to go out and give it a try.
I just had a friend who's in San Diego. He said, it's always 72. I said, yeah, that's why people live there. He said,
right.
He said, the pool's cold. I said, I don't know. 72 sounds good. So, So that's great. And we kind of reconnected. I really appreciate. Well, I remember you sent me a note. I was really grateful for that, saying I influenced your kids or your boys. And I'd quite tell you guys, you were a fantastic family to come to our church. The boys were easy to be with and delightful.
Right.
But you sent me a note a while back. Just I really appreciate that. It was encouraging because you see, as a youth pastor, sometimes it takes a while, and as you know, uh,
Mm-hmm.
these kids graduate, and some go on to do some great things. Your boys are doing good things. Some aren't. So it takes a while before you go, did I actually do something with some
Right.
kids?
Yeah.
So
Well, and it's funny. Just before we went on our trip to the Camino, I asked both Eric and Mark. I said, "Do you have regrets that we moved all the time?" And they both said without hesitation, "No, we know people all over the country. We met our wives in different places."
that's right.
And when people do ask, how come the boys, they're not perfect. Nobody's perfect.
No,
But
no, I
in my
appreciate
mind as a father, they're pretty perfect.
it. Yeah, pretty good.
How did both boys go into careers serving others? And I said, well, there were two youth pastors. One I'm talking to now, and the other one was in Houston. And they had a really a profound effect on their lives. So,
Well,
anyway,
that's
so I
cool.
appreciate that.
Yeah, that was a paid commercial. Thank you, Brad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
No, yeah, the boys are great. And what are they doing? I know what they're doing, but you tell the audience what they're doing. You got grandkids.
Yeah. So the other one, Eric, he's 42. He's senior pastor in Christ Lutheran in Albuquerque, and with Nash, our grandson there, who let's say he's 12, 12,
12.
and
Wow.
12.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
and actually, Eric, I don't know if you remember, it was his second month in seminary in St. Louis. He was diagnosed with leukemia,
Yes, I remember that.
and he was told to Eric and Katie, his wife, you don't have kids. There's too much of a risk because he was put on it was a experimental drug out of Germany.
Sure.
But they ended up having Nash, and thank God he's perfect. So
They're doing well.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. And then Mark and Candace, our daughter-in-law, they're in Houston. They have one biological, Hazel Emily Lou Robinson, which
That's cool.
grandparents don't have they can't
Yeah.
help name their
Yeah,
grandkids.
yeah,
So
yeah.
anyway, but
That's
Hazel's
cool.
great. She's 10, and then they have two adopted kids,
Okay.
Angel and Elena, that are actually they're going to be 7 in a couple weeks now. Yeah.
Where are they adopted from the States or
Yeah,
international?
they were in Texas. They were
Okay.
actually taken from their parents at 6 months. So
Wow.
there's a lot of past issues that Mark and Candace are wonderful and working through some of the issues. But Mark is as of right now, he's a doctor with Baylor at Ben Taub, the large county hospital
Wow.
there. But he just gave his notice to 2 days ago.
Okay.
He is now going to be, let's see, deputy director for Harris County Public Health.
Wow.
Harris County is Houston
Okay.
County. It's the third largest county in the country. So,
Wow. Now, why?
well, he just wanted to do more. He is now fluent, very close to being fluent in Spanish. He's fluent in Haitian Creole. There's a large Haitian
Oh,
Creole
sure.
population in Houston,
Yeah.
and he just wanted to do more serving the public.
That's
So,
what that's
yeah.
that's admirable. I mean, to leave
Yeah.
Baylor, which is pretty cool,
Right. Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
that. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's admirable. You and Connie should be proud.
Oh yeah, we are. We are. Again, and as I tell people, all the moving we did, you first find a home, you find a school, then you find a church.
Yeah.
And for a good 3 to 6 months, you don't know anybody, so you
Hmm.
stay together and go to dinner and do
Yeah.
things as a family. So that kept us very close.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, that's a great because there's a lot of military families and people that move, and everybody else is like, "Oh, that's horrible," and like, well, if they end up in Hawaii, that's cool. If they end up-
Right.
But
Yeah.
some places you didn't have a choice. And tell us a little about when you came to Philly. I appreciate your candor because Productive Lives is in Philly and
Right.
the
Yeah.
Jersey area, and I don't know how your job was. What did you do at Coke? I know what you did. What did you do, and how was your experience in Philly? Because I think people would appreciate your candor in that.
The quick story is that the VP and senior VP of the U.S. called me into their office one night and said, Brad, we need help. We need you to go and manage the plant in Tampa, Florida. And it was a plant where people at lunch take their lunch and sit on the beach.
Oh,
And
nice.
they said, go home and tell Connie and the boys. I went home and told the boys and Connie, and they said, "Great, can we get a ski boat,
Yeah.
for the Gulf then?" So
Certainly.
I went back in the next morning and ready to tell them yes, and they said, "Brad, we have a problem. The Teamsters are renegotiating the contract in Hightstown, New Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
and part of the concession for a 4-year wage freeze was the replacement of the director of operations. We need you to go up there."
Oh my
And
goodness.
I said, and then my comment was, "I don't want to be stuck up there." So
Yeah. No.
anyway, so my role up there was director of that plant. And then I had 2 other plants in Boston area, and then a couple of co-packers. So I was director of Northeast manufacturing, but
Wow.
it was tough. Dealing with
Yeah.
the Teamsters was not a cakewalk. I'll just tell you that.
No, when we were in Dallas, I went to Dallas Seminary, and I said, I'm going to go back Northeast. And they're like, oh, the Northeast really needs Jesus. I said, no, New England needs Jesus, but we're fine. And it was because you lived in the Bible Belt.
Right,
And
right.
I was like, oh, the Northeast. And I appreciate
Yeah.
there's a little bit more in your face and what's going on. And the ones you know are Christians or their faith is important. They tell you. If there's not, they'll tell you too.
They'll tell you too. Absolutely. That's the Northeast. Yeah. So anyway, but as you know, I just, one memory that sticks out, you might not remember, there was the Million Man, not March in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
And both boys and I went with you in a busload. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. I think it was it was something out of, Million Man, it wasn't Million Man March. It was something, but I know what you're saying. It was a Christian thing. It was in the mall, at the mall area.
At the mall, right.
Yes, I remember that. I do remember that.
Yeah, and the boys still remember us going with you in that busload there. Yeah, right.
You know what I remember about you and Connie, and I appreciate this, and this is good for anybody, productive life-wise, that you guys, we had 4 kids, and you guys took our 4 kids for a weekend or something. Nobody took 4 kids. Usually we had to take 2 here, 2 there. Right. You guys took 4 kids. Colin remembers throwing up in your car for some reason. You had snakes and rats to feed the snakes. Right. And our kids loved you guys. And I was like, wow, what a couple that didn't really know us that just really appreciate Mary and I, like someone watching our kids. And you know how that is. When someone takes the boys, you're like, thank you.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So,
and after we left, Philly area or Yardley, we went to Houston, and our house was a revolving door with high school kids.
Yeah.
It just, that was important. Keep the kids, the door open and welcome all their friends.
And another story, I'm sorry, it's just you and I, but I hope people are enjoying this, because when we were in Houston, we came back from Mexico. Remember that? We were stuck in Houston on the airplane, and we had 20 kids, something like that. And I knew you guys, and we called you, and oh, come on over. And you had your floor of all the Coke products and all that kind of stuff. And you just welcomed a bunch of ragtag kids and my wife and I and the team in. And again, you were very gracious and open. And I really, maybe that's from you moving. It's just like, we're either going to just be the Robinsons or our family, or we're going to open the door and just meet people as we go. And that's a great, I think we're talking about productive life or intentional or a life that's meaningful is to just welcome people in. So appreciate that. Whether managing corporate tension or welcoming a crowd of stranded teenagers into your home, intentionality changes everything. Join us for part 2, where Brad transitions from high-stakes corporate role as Vice President of Supply Management into a full-time global disaster relief. Until next time, keep living productively. Thank you for listening to the Productive Lives podcast. You can expect new episodes every Monday, and if you like the show, please subscribe and leave a review wherever you get your podcasts. This helps others like you find the show. The Productive Lives podcast is supported by Productive Lives, where our mission is people serving people, and our vision is to motivate people to improve their lives and the lives of others through servant living and leadership. If you want to live a productive life and help improve the lives of others, visit our website for more information, productivelives.org. The Productive Lives podcast is produced by Studio D Podcast Production and hosted by me, Cam Garven. I'll see you next week for more stories of resilience and conversations about lives and ideas that are productive.